Good morning, everyone. A good Erev Shabbos. We will share with you today a Bitachon message from Parshas Devorim. We know that in the whole Sefer Devorim, it is very much a repetition of all that transpired in the Chumash itself. Moshe Rabbeinu tells Klal Yisrael again and again that which transpired, what had happened to them, how Kodesh Baruch Hu looks at it, and he gives in each one of the episodes that he describes, he gives new insight and understanding that we, the reader, Klal Yisrael of all who will be here for all generations, will begin to be able to understand what the downfall was to Klal Yisrael in certain areas of history in the Midbar when they made grave errors. And it's no coincidence that we read Sefer Devarim right before Tisha B'Av. This year, as we know, Tisha B'Av really is on Shabbos itself, but we push it off until Sunday. But in the Parsha, he speaks about the Chet HaMeraglim, the sin of the spies, which was the precursor for all of the destruction that would ever befall the Jewish people on Tisha B'Av itself. And he says that how did it begin? As he writes over here, that Vaytikravun Elai Kulchem, all of you came and gathered around me. V'taimru, and you said, Nishtacha noshim lefanenu, let's send out spies in front of us. V'yachru lana es haaretz, let them spy out the land. V'yoshivu isanu davar, es haderech asher na'aleh ba, v'yisaharim asher novar alein, and they'll tell us what it's like in Eretz Yisrael, how we should go, and if we'll be able to conquer it. So Rashi points out over here, what does it mean? V'tikravun elai kulchem, bi'erbuvya. You came bi'erbuvya, you came in confusion. You came in mass confusion. You came all together as one, pushing and shoving, the young people going in front of the elders, the ignoramuses in front of the wise. You came and you pushed your way in order that you should be able to tell us that you want the spies to go out. Says Rashi, you know what the beginning of the Chet, the beginning of the sin of the Meraglim, of the spies was? That they didn't come with Yishuv Adas, they didn't come with a settled mind. They didn't come after having discussed it amongst themselves, should we send in spies, should we not send in spies? They didn't come be'emunah and bitachon in the Rebbeinu Shalom, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to go to Eretz Yisrael. As Moshe Rabbeinu told them, Eretz Toivahi, it's a good land, you have nothing to worry about. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has promised it to us and our children and our children's children. No. Vatikravun Elai, you came be'irbuvya, you came pushing and shoving, nervous, anxious, confounded and confused. When a person approaches life be'irbuvya in such a way, it is almost a guarantee that is a recipe for disaster. When a person is anxious and on edge, when a person is unsure and they are concerned, when a person comes along with much angst and confusion on the inside of them, so you know what ends up happening? It's almost impossible, or it is impossible, to make a decision that is going to be valid and solid and is going to be based upon the foundations of the haskell, of the understanding and the outlook and the perspective, the proper perspective that a person has on life. Therefore, says Moshe Rabbeinu, the reason that the Jewish people, these were tzaddikim, they were the righteous of the entire generation, could have made such a mistake, was because the initial approach was all wrong. It was not an approach that was based upon the kavod roish, which would mean the seriousness and the understanding. It wasn't an approach that was done in the most objective of ways. It was brought upon the Jewish people be'irbuvya in a totally confusing and confounding way. And therefore, when you take amunah and bitachon out of the equation, when you release yourself of your belief and your trust in the Rebbeinu Shalom, when you find yourself doing things happenstance and impulsively because the emotions are getting the best of you, so then you are setting yourself up for colossal failure in this particular circumstance. It was the failure of the Meraglim, which, as HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, B'chisam b'chiyah shel chinam. You cried on that night for no reason. I swear to you, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I will give you something to cry about, l'dorei doros, for all generations. And this is Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av comes from a lack of emunah and a lack of bitachon. Tisha B'Av was predicated on the irbuvia, on the confusion and the mistakes of the meraglim of the Jewish people, that they came pushing and shoving, and even the yeladim, the young people, got in front of the elders. There was no derech eretz, there was no honor, there was no respect, there was no recognition of the way in which things are supposed to go in a natural order. Irbuvia means out of order. Irbuvia means there is no rhyme and there is no reason. I'm just locked up in my emotional world, and my emotions and my impulsivity is getting the best of me. My anxiety is running high. I have nerves. I have butterflies that are swarming around inside of my stomach. What am I going to do? Says the Torah, they made a very big mistake. You can't act in such a way. Rather, a Jew has to act b'menuchas hanefesh, peace of mind. And where does that peace and tranquility come from? A Jew that lives be'emunah, and a Jew that lives with bitachon. He has faith and trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem runs the world. We can trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We can rely upon Hashem. We have nothing to worry about. Had we had more of those levels of amun and bitachon at that time, we would not have made such a grave error of the meraglim. We would not have sinned by speaking lashon hara about Eretz Yisrael, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu would not have punished us for thousands of years already. That the night of Tisha B'Av is a night of chorban, a night of destruction for all of Klal Yisrael. May we be zeicha on this Tisha B'Av to strengthen our amunah, to strengthen our bitachon, to let HaKadosh Baruch Hu know how much we believe in Him. And we believe in the cause of Torah, and we believe in the sanctity of Klal Yisrael, and we believe in the binyan bayis shlishi that HaKadosh Baruch Hu can bring the building of the Beis HaMikdash at any moment. And in that zechus, in Yetz Hashem, as our emunah and our bitachon is strong, and it soars, and we elevate ourselves in those areas, it'll be a tikkun of the chait, of the sin of the meraglim, and in that zechus, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring the bias goyal tzedek, Mashiach Tzidkenu, the binyan bayis shlishi, bimheira v'yameinu. Have an easy and a meaningful fast and a wonderful Shabbos.